Last week, Harry and I visited Cape Hatteras, the first of 10 U.S. national seashores we will visit in the coming months. It is January, the off-season, and Cape Hatteras was a peaceful, windswept sanctuary with sandy beaches, salt marshes, maritime forests, and stunning dune landscapes teeming with wildlife. From there we drove to Assateague Island National Seashore. It's a stretch of wilderness of about 48,000 acres on a long, narrow barrier island that straddles the coasts of Virginia and Maryland. The island is home to many species of wildlife, none more famous than the wild ponies. According to legend, these shaggy, sturdy animals survived the shipwreck of a Spanish galleon in the 1600s and then swam ashore to Assateague. I first learned about the Assateague horses as a child from Marguerite Henry's famous book, Misty of Chincoteague. Assateague Island is 60 kilometers long. On the map, the two X's show the north and south ends of the island. The National Seashore is divided into the Maryland District in the north and the Virginia District in the south. At the state line, there's a fence, which keeps the two pony herds separate from each other. Challenging weather is normal on barrier islands like Assateague, as seasonal weather and large storms continuously reshape the landscape. Each year, harsh weather erodes sand from beaches and dunes and deposits it in offshore sandbars. Gentler wave action helps to replenish the beaches and dunes that have been stripped. Throughout the year, winds carrying salt spray blow across the island, producing a natural pruning effect on trees and shrubs. Assateague owes its creation as a national seashore to the weather. The island was going to be a private resort community. These asphalt slabs are pieces of Baltimore Boulevard, a 24-kilometer road built by developers in the 1950s. It was the only paved road on the island. But the Ash Wednesday storm of 1962 destroyed the few existing structures and ripped the road apart. These broken slabs are now used only by gulls, which drop and crack clams on the hard surface. Many people questioned the wisdom of 9,000 building lots on Assateague after the storm, and the housing development firm sold all its land to the federal government, and the National Seashore was created. To this day, it's not possible to drive the entire length of the island. One must travel on the mainland to journey between the National Seashore in Maryland and the National Wildlife Refuge in Virginia. On the Maryland side, the wild ponies have the run of the place. There are about 100 ponies on this side. We found them in small bands of 2 or 3, and they were eating constantly. There's no records to prove that the horses are descendants of survivors of a shipwreck, as local folklore suggests. It is also quite likely they are feral descendants of 17th century farmers that abandoned them and the tough conditions on the island. ponies eat nutrient-poor salt marsh cordgrass, salt meadow hay, and beach grass. Genetically, they are horses, but are pony size caused by hundreds of years of adapting to this low-quality diet. Assateague horses drink twice as much water that domestic horses will, thanks to their salty diet. All that water, combined with a high salt diet, gives them a bloated look. On the Maryland side, the ponies go where they please. Some fences have been put up on road curves to help the ponies enter and exit roadways on straight stretches where drivers can see them more clearly. We found the ponies, or evidence of them, at campsites and picnic areas, on roads, bike paths, beaches, and in parking lots. There are signs warning to keep a distance of 1 bus length from them. Admittedly, when they are grazing peacefully, they don't really look that wild. They are used to having people around, but they have been known to bite and kick and cause serious injuries. The island can't sustain growing herds of ponies, as well as other kinds of wildlife. The sand, salt, scorching heat, poor quality food, storms, and abundant mosquitoes during most of the year make for a tough environment to survive. 2 miles of the Maryland side is a state park. The rest is U.S. National Seashore, where the population of the ponies is limited by vaccinating some of the mares to prevent overgrazing. The Virginia side is managed by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service as the Assateague National Wildlife Refuge, except for the Visitor Center and a recreational beach, which is managed by the National Park Service. In Virginia, the ponies are within fenced areas and are owned and managed by the Assateague Volunteer Fire Department. Every year, near the end of July, the herd is rounded up and they make a 5-minute swim at low tide from Assateague to nearby Assateague Island. The next day, many of the older foals are auctioned off. Proceeds from the sale benefit the Assateague Volunteer Fire Department. Thank you for joining us as we spent time exploring and celebrating the beautiful U.S. seashores. And check out our other videos on Canada's 28,000-kilometer trail and the fascinating creatures that live there. Do take care of yourselves, and I will see you all again very soon.